It is extremely important to me that the stories we share are authentic and that we strive to tell both perspectives. I've been a local to this remarkable island 3 times and a tourist too many times to count. Our Home Your Holiday celebrates Aruba. There's a reason why Arubans are so patriotic, and there's a reason why visitors keep coming back. Let's dive into the elements that makes Aruba our home and the perfect holiday. Hi everyone, I'm Yentelu. We are standing in front of Casa Cultura, which in literal translation means the house of culture. But what is culture? More importantly, what does culture mean to this small island nation of Aruba? Well, for starters, music plays an integral role. The performance and rhythm of Asambejo music is a unique one to the island. I don't know about you, I've been captivated and I've jumped with the band whenever Asambejo music arrives. But I never even knew it was called Asambejo music. Let's take a dive into this particular rhythm that was created in Aruba by Aruban musicians. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Asambejo, a genre of music that is one of a kind to the island of Aruba. Asambejo is certainly a unique word. The name Asambejo came to be in 1985 after a contest was held at the YMCA of San Nicolas. The Department of Culture actually organized the contest. There was no name for the genre of music that was gaining popularity by the minute. Everyone called it brass band. But as you can see and hear, the rhythm is different and culturally significant to Aruba. Let's dive into the name of Asambejo. The whole word, Asambejo, is a nod to Arnold Bade and Samuel Hodge, who were the original creators of the genre of music. Asambejo is spelled A for Arnold, S-A-M for Samuel, B-E, Bay for Bade, and H-O for Hodge. There you have it, Arnold Bade and Samuel Hodge, who were the developers of Asambejo. The very upbeat style and rhythm of music was born here and created by Aruban musicians. These 3 Arubans right here are deeply ingrained with the Asambejo genre of music. Bobby gives us a brief history of how the music came about.
We had also a few older guys that wanted to make the marching rhythms a little more danceable during the carnival parades. So there is where the rhythm started to change. It became a little more jumpy, a little more dance music instead of the march. And out of that, the rhythm was created.
Musicians back in the day saw the need for a more high energy level type of music to be born in order to match the vibrant cultural parade that is Aruba's carnival. So people got to work and Asambejo was created.
Well, it's something that is originated out of the Arubian youth, the Arubian culture. Or the boys back in the 80s, they were as far as 15 to 20 different brass bands on Aruba. The parades were, and I'm talking about the era where before, just like before the brass band, there was the steel band, and then the brass band kind of made the steel band fade out and got less because the brass band was a more innovative new rhythm to the carnival, and we kind of took over, say, the carnival music. There was parades where, in those days, there were parades where there was only nothing else but brass bands. There were no big bands on trailers like what we have now.
Roderick is a musical director and can play every instrument in the Asambejo band. He's also dedicated his life to the genre of this music. Asambejo has been part of his life since he was 4 years old.
Wow, for me it means totally everything in my life. I breathe Asambejo. I eat asambejo. Everything I do is asambejo.
As someone who has orchestrated and led the performances countless times in his life, he says there are two key ingredients that brings an electrifying performance.
It's the energy and it's also the sync of the part of the music, because this music, particular music, is something that brings you alive. When you hear the music, if you hear a band playing asambejo and nobody is moving, there is a problem. That's the way how I see it. So you need to move. You need to celebrate when we perform this music. This is a culture music of Aruba. This is something very important for the Aruba community, because they have to remember where we come from when it starts to brass band, when it starts to carnival, when they start to celebrate.
Darlene is the leader of the pack. She is at the head of the band and the first person the audience sees when the asambejo band is coming. She says there is something so special about this particular musical experience.
Before, you used to have a steel band, and then the asambejo came in, and then you have the bands. The bands, the way they play, it's awesome. But there is something about the asambejo that it pulls people. So when you hear the music, like I said, everyone comes running. You have that with the band as well, but you know, you're dancing and whatever. But with the asambejo, the people come running.
One of the things that keeps the high energy, excitement, and the exhilaration going is the reaction from the spectators.
The reaction of our visitors here in Aruba is very, very, very nice. Very nice. They come to you, and I think Darlene can tell this, and also Bobby Gibbs can tell this. Always the people come and they start asking for more information about the music, and they come with this idea always that they thought it's coming from the States, and we are improving it, make it different in Aruba, but it's not true. It is from Aruba, and that moment is a special moment, because it's very excited. They're asking for cards and everything, and yeah, it opened doors, and this doors that has been open already is because of the tourism that come into Aruba and asking for more. And I'm telling this, you have to come to Aruba in the carnival period. You will see this. We perform 4 hours in the carnival. What I see was just 15 minutes. So, oh, this is incredible.
The moment you hear the music, people, it's like they become crazy, you know, but a good crazy. So you get people running. You get people, they want to be up front. And now, a long time ago, we didn't have smartphones or whatever have you. Now you get the phones come out and people are filming. And then after the performance, you get people sending you footage or whatever have you. Or they post it, you know, because you have that now. You didn't have Facebook before. But it's amazing to see and to hear the feedback from the people.
Tell me about the energy that happens whenever you guys come out.
The energy is phenomenal. It's not only in Aruba, but our energy. The thing is that a lot of the longevity of these groups. When we talk about the early '80s to 83, 84, I left Aruba in '83, and then I continued developing a brass band in Curacao, and then we went over to Holland and we played internationally. So I mean, not only me, but the Rotary can also add to that. This energy is not only in Aruba, and anywhere we go, in any part of the world where we performed, it's like, wow, it's amazing.
All together we call that massive, and they're massive from Aruba. Yes.
Singing in Papiamento is cultural and special to this island of Aruba. There is one man in particular who is celebrated for his contribution in this regard. We will get into that in just a minute. Because Aruba used to be a colony of the Dutch kingdom, there was a time when Aruba was hungry, starving even, for its own culture. That is when Padu Lampa and a few local iconic artists came together to write songs about Aruba, to remind the community of this island how beautiful this place is, and to always remember to sing loudly and proudly in their own language. Welcome to the home of Padu Lampa. Padu was most well known for co-writing Aruba's national anthem. On the piano is Padu's daughter, Vivian. With the maracas in hand is Padu's son-in-law, Victor. Naturally, Padu has a musical family. Padu passed away in 2019 and left a legacy for a lifetime. He dedicated a large part of his life to writing, composing, and producing music in Papiamento, including the island's national anthem, Aruba Dushi Terra. Vivian takes great pride in continuing to share her father's story.
You know, I've always called him Padu from day one. I know most people will say papi or papai or whatever, but I've always called him Padu, and my mother never told me you're supposed to call your father, you know, dad or papi. I've always called him Padu, yes.
When Padu wrote Aruba Dushi Terra, no one knew it was going to be the island's national anthem. The song was written in 1952. Vivian tells us how Padu always retold the story to her, and it turns out the circumstances in the 50s of Aruba drove the song to be written.
But people in those days were not thinking Papiamento. All the schools, everything was in Dutch. I remember we were not even allowed to speak only outside. When we are in the classroom, if you're caught speaking Papiamento, you know, it was like, no, you have to write 10 times because you were caught speaking Papiamento.
Aruba was in need of its own culture, and music played an integral role.
So at that time, there was a friar here, Friar Alexis, who really noticed that the kids don't have an identity because we're singing all the liedjes, the songs from Holland. About windmills, we never saw a windmill. And now there's one there that they carried over from Holland and brought it here. So we're talking about rivers and all sorts of things that we never saw.
Fred Alexis approached Padu to compose music in Papiamento for the community of Aruba, and soon after, Aruba Dushi Terra was born. Aruba was having an identity crisis, and there was a need for something poetic to remind the community what an amazing and beautiful place this island really is.
So he told me that when he decided with Rufo they're going to make a song that talks about Aruba, nos barranca tan stima. So all of a sudden people were aware that they have to love this rock. Barranca is a rock. I mean, who wants to love a 30-mile rocky, sunny, windy island? Sometimes it looks like a desert. You might have seen when the tourists drive around, they see a lot of desert, but you see a beauty in it. And Padu saw the beauty in it. You know, the palm trees, our beaches, and the people.
Besides for the national anthem, another one of Padu's iconic songs is Aboso, which was inspired by Vivian's mother, Daisy.
Ay marita wen noche mes, ay marita awar bes. Mi por entregabo tu mi corazón.
Vivian lives in a home that is essentially a shrine to her father. She was always eager to share his story of how he created music in Papiamento. With that said, for Padu's legacy and music to live on depends on the people of Aruba to keep it alive.
I'm 76. I mean, we're in that last part of our lives, or I might be around, 5-10 years, who knows, maybe 15. I don't know, that's not in my hand. But the ones that should really keep it alive is the next generation. So we have to do something for that to happen. And I think radio stations are very important.
Continuing to sing songs in Papiamento loudly and proudly is one way of preserving this precious part of the island's culture and heritage.
Bo playa ng tanto admira, cu palmas turdorna, bo escudo y bandera ta, orgullo di nostur.
O Aruba, dushitera, nos barranca tan stima, nos amor pavota sina grandi, kuntinada pa kibre, kuntinada pa kibre. Hope you enjoyed this very special episode dedicated to Aruba's music. For weekly original content about Aruba, make sure to visit our YouTube page and feel free to hit subscribe. Signing off right here in front of Casa Cultura, I'm Yan Tolu. We'll see you next time.